All right, everyone. My name is Captain Crush. Welcome to my channel. Today I have something a little different for you. I will cover the NBA slate, the same game parlay for Game 4 of the NBA Finals. But first, there is a collaboration video here with me and the man they call the Doctor. Dr. Profit, that is. We cooked up some plays. We talked about the industry as a whole. But first, we will go over all of that. It's in an interview format. I hope you guys like it. I'm going to start doing more of this stuff with trusted members of the community, guys that I respect, and we will go from there. I wanted to say something. We had a banger of a video with full analysis for all the plays we gave. He gave his thoughts, I gave mine, and of course, my mic, this guy right here, didn't want to cooperate. Tons of static. Unfortunately, it's absolutely chalked. I spent over an hour and a half trying to fix the static. I couldn't do it. And instead of letting your ears bleed, what I'm going to do is just I cut it out. And after the interview, I will put another one and you will discuss the plays. Appreciate you guys for watching. I hope you enjoy it. All right, everybody. So here I have Dr. Profit on the channel today. We're going to go ahead and discuss how he got started. We're going to discuss a few things regarding the industry, and then also we're going to try to cook up something for NBA for you guys. So why don't you go ahead and tell people who you are and what exactly it is that you do.
So my name's Will, the brand is Dr. Profit, and most of my content is through Twitter, but you guys might have seen me on TikTok or Discord as well. Basically, I prioritize NBA, NFL, and MLB. I put out picks, I make my projections, and that's kind of what my picks are based off of. And then using those projections, I do a little bit more extended research and find 5 or 6 picks each day that I like. I post those to Twitter, and that's pretty much what I do.
So yeah, that's good. I pretty much do the same thing. And what I wanted to ask you is, can you tell everybody about your TikTok stuff, what you have going on there?
Yeah, so right now I got a newer TikTok page where I'm basically just finding scammers. People will send me proof of them getting scammed from a premium Discord, and I'll post that evidence basically just as a warning, like, hey, don't join this guy's Discord. He's trying to scam you for money. Just like there's way more of those than you realize, and a lot of them, it's like I know they're scamming. I can easily tell. I just don't have proof to post it yet. So it's very cool seeing as the page grows, I'm getting like 3 or 4 a day of like, hey, this guy's scamming, like, please help me out. And there's some guys where even if I don't even get a chance to post it, sometimes the guy that scammed them will find out and send them their money back before the video even gets up. And it's like, I haven't even gotten 1,000 followers on that account yet. And it's cool to see that I'm able to have that effect on some people and help them get their money back.
Bro, absolutely. It's a major, major problem in this industry. And I try to tell everyone all the time, stay away from the faceless Discord guys. TikTok is one of the most toxic communities for scamming and frauds. And on top of that, unfortunately, guys that are legit like him, like myself, like Evie Boston guy, we're getting the same treatment as those scammers are because someone, a hater, whatever, probably them, are mass flagging the videos and getting it pulled down. And it's always for the same thing on TikTok, removed for frauds and scams, when it's an absolute joke. It's made me personally stop posting on TikTok as much because I'm afraid to get my account banned. I think I have like 23,000 followers, and I know you had a big following. I know Evie had a huge following, and it's gone just like that overnight.
Yep.
That's the main reason why I'm focusing on YouTube now. But dude, what you're doing is absolutely God's work. I tell everyone in my own community, look out for that. But you know, people see winning screenshots, and for whatever reason, they believe like, oh, this guy's the real deal, and that's just not the case. What would you say would be the best thing that maybe we could do to improve this issue with TikTok shutting down our accounts? I mean, do you think there's anything that we could do as content creators?
I think we have to find there's specific things that kind of get flagged in each video. So there's been like keywords that I know not to say, or like if you're posting a prize pick slip, for example, because gambling is technically against their community guidelines, but you see a bunch of big accounts posting picks. I think if you don't show the screenshot of the slip itself or only show it for like 1 second instead of just having it up there the whole video, I think that I know that's one way to kind of skirt around it. In terms of the frauds and scams thing for reporting scammers, I think that's just main keywords, because there was one video I just posted that got taken down that said it was taken down for harassment and bullying, and pretty much everything in the video was perfectly fine, and I know exactly which phrase I got caught for. So it's like I have to be careful with stuff like that.
Yeah, dude. The same thing with me with my live streams. I got suspended on TikTok Live for harassment and bullying when I didn't even I'm the creator of the account, and what I did was I said, "Hold on a second. If that's how you feel, let me help you out." And I blocked him. And they banned me for like a week for that, for blocking someone that was being toxic, and in my own chat for harassment and bullying. So I'm not exactly sure how it works. I talked to some big content creators on there, and they said message support and tell them your piece, and they'll hopefully flag your account to stop doing it. But that's hearsay. I can't prove it. I have no way to get in touch with TikTok support. I've spammed their Twitter. No one responds to anything. But when you got guys out there like Baby Locks that are doing their thing, and we're getting flagged, it's infuriating, man. And it's something has to be done about it. So what I've been doing too is when I do my Prize Picks content, I think a big issue is and with these fantasy sports providers, Prize Picks, especially Underdog, all the other ones, they want us to stop using words like over under and use words like higher lower and make it less about like the gambling aspect of it and more of like the fantasy side, which makes sense. And I've been trying to do that, reprogram myself to do it, but it's absolutely hard because it's ingrained in my brain. But also with the contest, I was about to say slip. It's still there, but in the contest, like if I'm doing a green screen effect, I will leave out the dollar sign and stuff like that, and just leave it with the legs. And I've had a little bit more success with that. So that could be, I'm not sure how their algorithm works, but that could be how it.
Yeah, I think that's smart, and it's super weird to me because there's very big accounts. Like there's no way they're overlooking these accounts that are very clearly gambling accounts, and for
Ex-
whatever reason they never get flagged.
exactly. Like guys, I'm talking guys with 300,000 followers.
Yeah.
And there's a few that I follow, and I like following them. I'm like, how do these guys get away with it? Like, I'm just a little minnow in this big pond, but maybe that's why we're not getting away with it. But yeah. So, what's the name of the TikTok account that you have so people can know to go check it out?
It's Dr. Profit exposing scammers. Like it's a long tag, just so
Okay,
everybody's clear
I'll
what the account is when it shows up on their For You page.
Okay. Yeah. If you type in Dr. Profit on TikTok, you'll find it, and I'll put it up here somewhere in the post editing. But yeah, guys, absolutely check it out. Remember, I wouldn't put my name on it if it wasn't good. You guys need to see this because you need to be aware of what's going on, and it'll help everyone. And then maybe you help a buddy save a dollar or two from one of these ridiculous clowns in the industry. So, since we're talking about prize picks, underdog, and stuff like that, I want to get your opinion site to site as far as prize picks, underdog, sleeper. What do you think of prize picks as opposed to underdog? What's your bread and butter? Or do you just pretty much do what I do, which is just go where the value is and line shop the promos and stuff like that?
For the most part, I just line shop the promos, kind of like you're talking about. But if assuming they're the same lines, I generally prefer underdog to prize picks because the payouts are better. Really, the only advantage I think prize picks has at this point in time is they have a higher volume of props and a higher variety. But I think as these other apps grow and also expand their different props, I think they're kind of in trouble because I think a lot of apps, pretty much all of them, have better payouts on their picks right now, and their support teams are usually better, probably because they're smaller, but it's still something that's pretty big. And I think they're just less restrictive in what users can do, or like a lot of people are on the Prize Picks Discord, and it turns into a big mess sometimes when a discounted pick misses, everybody loses their minds, and it just becomes super toxic. And it's like it's not just in the Discord. That's just kind of an example of like a very concentrated group of that community. But if you
Well, yeah,
go on
yeah,
Twitter, yeah,
you're
if you go on
absolutely
Twitter,
right.
if I put the sleeper pick and it misses, it's generally a lot less negative than if I post a prize pick slip and it misses.
Yeah. I think we can both agree that Prize Picks is king of the road as far as branding because they got in the market first as far as the first one to get it and make it into a thing. Now we're seeing all these smaller ones pop up. I will say this for Sleeper, and obviously I'm an affiliate of them. It's not a secret. I'm sure you are too. But they have a sleek interface. Like it's a really nice interface. And once they add like a search feature to be able to find the player that you're looking for, I think that's they have a real leg up, and obviously they need to add WNBA and some other things. Prize Picks has the edge as far as lines offered, but on Sleeper, the way they do the payouts based on certain lines, I think that's really cool. And but like I tell my audience too, it's basically always shop for value based on whatever site. You don't have to be like tribalism and choose one site based on because this is where I am. Spread your money around, and because when these sites compete, we all win. It's a classic example. We're getting Taco Tuesday, Hot Dog Thursday, Jimmy Butler free square on Underdog today. Sleeper had a free square the other day. It's because they're all fighting for the same customer, which is you and me. So it's like if you can, just keep shopping for those lines and value. And would you agree? Okay, I always preach to my audience about on Prize Picks because that's the reason I give content for all. By the way, Underdog is great. If I find a line over there that I like, I'll take it. And also, Underdog has Best Ball, which I don't know if you do Best Ball, but that's one of their things that's pretty cool as well. Do you do Best Ball?
I do it some. Like I think last year I ran like a few times a week before the season started. I'd run a best ball draft with my followers, so I was in like 10 best ball drafts with just like my followers, other content creators. But I'm not like there are people that surround all their content and research around best ball. I don't do that. I'm more of a when it comes to fantasy football, I'm more dynasty.
I got you. Okay, yeah. I want to start doing best ball like streams and content myself. But yeah, it's definitely something that's fun as too. What about DraftKings real quick? Do you do DraftKings daily fantasy sports for football or anything?
Not as much. I think I did for the beginning of last football season a little bit, and then for whatever reason, my account got like flagged, and it eventually became unflagged. But it was after like two weeks or something, and I had already stopped using it. So I was like, you know what? I'll just focus on Prize Picks.
I got you. Definitely Prize Picks is way more Prize Picks is definitely appeals to a wider audience than DraftKings. DraftKings requires a lot of time, research, and most people they just want to be able to put it in quickly. And on top of that, it's 50-50 and you're playing against the house, so the edge is locked in. But I will say this: I try to preach to my audience to do the five flex, take advantage of the five flex because I feel that's the. I mean, I don't just feel it; I know the math is behind it too. The most equity. But for some reason, a lot of people are stuck in their ways and they want to do the pick four flex or something like that. Obviously, everyone and what I try to my approach is to this. I basically have my pool of stats props that I have a list, and I try to tell my audience mix and match them because what I'm going for is an overall hit rate on the list. So if there's 10 on that list, I want to get 6 out of 10 right. And if I can, and you mix and match, then you have the chance to be profitable that day. And then I tell them if you want to make two mans, because everyone likes the two man for some reason, but I know they have their place. But I tell them if you're not doing five flexes in addition to the two man, I feel like it's a disservice because a lot of my guys have smaller bankrolls. They're trying to build their bankrolls up, and I tell them like the hit rate you have to have playing exclusively two mans to be able to build a bankroll unless you're betting like high dollar amounts, it's insane. Like so I want to get your take on that. What do you suggest for people that are in this situation?
So I'm in the same boat as you. I know the math behind all of them and the implied odds and what hit rate you need for every one of them to be profitable. I think for me the logic of taking the five pick because they're better value only makes sense is if that fifth pick you like it just as much as the second pick that you like. But if you really only like two picks, then I say just lock in those two picks because forcing those three extra picks and let's say they go 1 for 2, you end up losing money when you could have made money anyways. And I think for people with smaller bankrolls, I think going five flexes and four flexes and six flexes is dangerous because even though overall they do have a better ROI, I think that is over like an infinite amount of time. So if me and you are playing 5-6 slips a day for a year, 2 years, that ROI does make sense because you get one hot streak and you can make up the money for the next 3 months if you were to lose every day. But I think if you're trying to build a bankroll for like a week, 2 weeks just to do that, I think two picks are better just because you can, if you have the right reads and you're right, you will profit a little bit or like over those 2 weeks and then you can start doing those five picks. But I think if you're trying to get five picks right like let's say you put 1 or 2 slips a day for 1 or 2 weeks, it's going to be really hard to argue the overall ROI when you're only looking at a sample size of 10, 20 slips
Yeah,
or
I
contests.
I totally understand what you're saying. I can agree with that. What do you think about the three-man powers?
Hate them.
Yeah.
That's the only one I said. If you have 2 picks, don't force 3 more for a 5 pick. If I have 3 picks I like, I'm either playing them on a different app or I'm forcing a fourth one to make it a 4-man. I'm not playing a 3-man on PrizePicks.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And I think I've maybe done a three flex maybe 1 or 2 times lifetime on there. I don't recommend it for those. I'm sure you don't recommend either. The three-man flexes are bad value, but I also can understand the appeal of it being like maybe your last five and you're pretty desperate or something, I guess. I don't know, but yeah. But I'm glad to hear other people's takes on that. I'm always open, and you make valid points. Absolutely. That would you consider Prize Picks as far as a long term profitable strategy for the what I'm basically getting at is, can you try to explain in your own words, because I explain this on the daily, just how hard it can be to win consistently at Prize Picks, even if you're a long-term winner. Like we were talking a little bit before we got on here, how I always say this: you're only as good to your audience usually as your last winner. And it's, yesterday was one of my worst days in a long time. Just nothing went right. Like the guy, and the funny thing about it is which I told my audience too, is I don't do round one PGA because I like to wait and see for the round. I use Data Golf, which is free, by the way. I'm not plugging it. It's legit free. They have a paywall, but I'm not even an affiliate with them. Check it out if you're new to it. They do God's work there. And I like to check and see the strokes gained and everything and break it down for the first round and then go into round two. But of course, I wanted action because, we're all degens at the end of the day. I put in a little 4 or 5 man on underdog, and it swept because that's just the type. And of course, I didn't post it because that's the type of day it was. And then everything that I put in that I actually researched and took my time pretty much chalked. But I will say this: the WNBA game was where I had most of my eggs, and there was only one. And the Aces got blown out by, I think, 20 points when they were 4.5-point favorites to win. So that literally chalked like everything. But yeah. So what's your take on telling people how hard this industry actually is, and to try to temper expectations?
So I think the best way to put it in perspective is before PrizePicks and this fantasy contest came into play, it was, I think you needed to be 52% hit rate to be profitable on books. And if you were like 54%, you were the guy. You were reliable, you were reputable, like you were a great person to follow. For PrizePicks to be profitable on 2-mans, you need to be, I think, 57% hit rate, which is ridiculous. And if you go like 2 for 3 on a day or 3 for 4, people are still calling you terrible because you missed a pick. So I think because fantasy contest is so much simpler than sports books, it gives this misconception that if you know what you're doing, you should never miss a pick. But in reality, all these lines makers also know what they're doing. They're watching the games more than us. So these lines are set at what's supposed to be a 50-50 hit rate. So if you're hitting enough on PrizePicks to be profitable, you're basically being more successful than somebody that's being paid lots of money to do the exact same thing that you're doing. So it's very much a competitive thing to be better than the guy that's setting the lines. But at the same time, it goes to show that if you're beating somebody that's supposed to be that good at their job, that's like kind of the difficulty that you're set at.
I agree with that. What I tell people too is, and to add to that, it's the same thing, guys. Prize Picks, their whole business model, Prize Picks, underdog, sleeper, whatever have you, they want 50-50 propositions on their board. Everything needs to be a coin flip. That way, they're making money no matter what side you choose. In addition to that, they have an advantage because you have to choose somebody from a different team. And on top of that, you have to parlay it. There's no way around it. And just by having a parlay, you're adding variance into your life. Believe me when I tell you. So when you add in all those three things, it's insanely hard. And the key, what he does, what I do, what other people do, we use whatever tools we can to try to find mismatches, because the thing is PrizePicks has an insane amount of stats on their board and for a lot of different sports. And I know they have probably MIT lines, like caliber IQ guys making their lines and stuff. So we, in the long run, it's insanely hard, guys, is what I'm getting at. But it's because there's so many stats and stuff on their board, some of the lines will be inefficient, and it's not every day, but sometimes. And if you can get a 52, 54, 55%, instead of just that 50-50, those are the ones that I try to target. And once I find those, then I go from there to break it down with projections, etc. But it's extremely hard. So if you have a losing day following what I know he posts a lot of stuff on Twitter. I post stuff on YouTube, which is where you guys are watching this every day. I try to break it down and show the process. It's why I focus on teaching the process over just tailing the play, because if I can teach you guys the process, then long term I've created value for you. Whereas just tailing a play, one day we'll win, one day we'll chalk. But in the end, we hope to be winners, and I personally should be winning. But on a day-to-day basis, it's extremely tough. So I'm glad that you have the same opinion on that. Do you have anything that you want to tell anybody specifically about your upcoming plans or anything like that? Anything you want to share with the people?
There's not too much I can share other than it's good. It should be something that it doesn't exist yet. It exists in kind of variants, like in little spots here and there, but it'll be something that I think a lot of people didn't realize they need until it's finally out.
Perfect.
So it'll be a little while before it's out, though. It's not like coming in the next month or something.
Got you. That's great, man. The more stuff for people to help people win, the better. What I want to do now is I want to take a look at this NBA slate, and I want to go ahead and see if we can put something together for my audience and your audience together. I told them that we would try to find some NBA winners. All right, and that is exactly what we did. We went through this NBA Game 4 and we found some absolute bangers. We had the whole board pretty much dissected. We found our favorites. Unfortunately, the audio, it went ballistic. You couldn't even hear half the time when I was talking because of the static. It's fine. I cut all that out. It's a shame. We will do another one. We enjoyed it. We had fun. It was a good time. But listen, it was my first run at this, so there's a learning curve. It's that simple, boys and girls. So what we will do, and what I will do, is I will cover what we went over in a brief synopsis for you guys and let you see what we cooked up, okay? First and foremost, Nikola Jokic, more 62 fantasy points. We were on the fence whether we wanted to take his other stats that are on the board, whether we looked at his PRA. Everything at the end of the day came back to his fantasy score being value, so we will take more on that. Next, we will talk about Jimmy Butler. We made arguments for less. I made an argument for less. He made an argument for more. We still believe the correct play would be to take fantasy score more here, but I'm going to fade the stat, and we are going to look at his assists, which is at an even 6. This one is pretty volatile, but it is still the right play, even though it chalked last time at 6.5. We're getting a 0.5 discount. More would be the play, but what we're going to do is take his points plus assists, which is at 32.5. Doctor specifically believed that Jimmy is going to be more aggressive. I tend to concur with him, and for that reason, we will take his points assists. Then we will go back to Bam, who has a 40.5 fantasy score, and we're going to go ahead and smash more. We went over all this. Denver is literally letting Bam have his way. They're trying to say, Bam, if you're going to go ahead and take those little jumpers and you're going to go ahead and try to beat us, we will let you do it. So with Bam Adebayo here, I've been on the other side of it for the last 2 games. I'm going ahead and I'm going to hop on the train and go on the more side of it, and hopefully he continues to come through tonight. That is more of a narrative play here. Next, we covered a little bit of Jamal Murray. The one consensus we got on was Jamal Murray's assist. At first, it seems like an insanely high number, but then the doctor broke down the numbers based on pass attempts, assist opportunities, and it was absolutely insane. I'm not going to go through all the numbers because I don't want to misquote anything, but trust me, he convinced me. I like it. Even though it's an insane number, more would be the play here. 8 assists, more. His assist opportunity was insane. Same thing with the amount of passing he was doing. Everything was just insane. And if him and Joker continue to run the same offense, it still should be a cash. I want to go ahead and talk about Kyle Lowry on Sleeper. If this was at 3.5, which it is on Sleeper, promo code CRUSH, you can get it at 3.5. You want to take more. Here at 4 assists, I don't hate it. You can make an argument to take it. Now he'll need 5, but it does have push equity. The doctor liked Kyle Lowry's points, rebounds, and assists, which was 15.5, but he gave the disclaimer that he can be dealing with an injury to his groin. I guess he slipped. He mentioned it, so I'm throwing that disclaimer out there, but this was a low-key one that he liked. You'd want to take more there. Michael Porter Jr., we were both on the same train with him. His minutes had been trending down, but that's because Christian Braun had been coming in with the hot hand. The coach said that he still trusts Porter and Pope, so I will take Michael Porter Jr. at the discount. He played 21 minutes last game and still was able to grab 7 rebounds. I expect him to play at least 20 minutes again tonight, so I will take more 6 rebounds. Worst case scenario, I'm hoping for a push. I believe he's going to get exactly around 7. The range of outcomes confirms. So that right there is a 5 flex that you could put in, but I'm going to give you a couple more options. That way you can you can mix and match how you want, okay? Everyone likes Christian Braun today. I'm personally fading the prop. I don't know what to do there. Doctor was on the same page. We're both just going to fade it because we could see it going either way. There's just not enough news or data on it. Caleb Martin, he liked more 9.5 points. So did I. He said that the first 2 games he was sick or dealing with a sickness. He's back. He should regress, or he should come back to where he was, 9.5 points when he was at literally 17 or more a couple days ago. We will take more here and hope that he doesn't chalk. Okay, we talked about Gabe Vincent. This line was at 12.5. Now it's at 13. We checked out his home away splits, and Doctor likes less because of his home away splits at 13. Less would be the move. I'm personally going to fade the prop. I believe he was going to just fade the prop too, but we're throwing that out there because he will be a popular play today. Next, 3 points made, 1.5 for Duncan Robinson. I've been on this one. Duncan, I'm 305 for life. I'm going to go ahead and take more here. That's another one you could add into the mix. And then Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. If you want to go ahead, if you want to roll dice, he's due to have a big game, and a big game for him would be about 9 points. So he could make an argument for 7.5 points more here. He hasn't been taking too many shots, 4 field goal attempts last game, 4 the game before that, but the games before that, he's been around 8 to 10. So eventually he's going to have a big night. Hopefully we can be on the right side of it. And with that being said, that is the board for the NBA. I hope you guys like what we put together. I tried to stick with things for the more because I know more is more of a fun sweat than the unders. Who wants to sweat unders during game 4 finals? I'm going to go ahead and throw in some WNBA that I like. Okay, so I'm pretty sure some of these got bumped since then, but Satao Sabali, 22 real points. More, I like it. Natasha Howard, 16 points. Less, I like it. Those are my 2 favorites. I also like Natasha Howard less than 7.5 rebounds. Any of those you can mix and match, and if you want to go back to Arike and take her 4.5 assists, that would be a good one as well. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching the video. I'm sorry that I couldn't get the full analysis to work. It's technical difficulties. Guess what? Sometimes that happens. But you know what? I got this done for you guys. Appreciate Dr. Profit for coming on, doing a collab video. That's clutch. It's good to have that. It's good to have like-minded people in the community working together. I hope you guys had a good time. If you like the content, give me a like and subscribe. This isn't how my normal content is, so if you're interested, go back and watch previous content. But at the end of the day, I'm here for you guys. So that being said, I give you guys a big salute. Good luck tonight, and as always, let's crush.